Welcome everybody. Hillbilly here. Hey, this is the start of the third part of this cover for my Cobra sewing machine. I've got everything laid out. I think the first episode what we did is we showed you some of the plans and some of the process of making the plans, what type of material and stuff we were going to use. When we got into the second part, we actually showed you how we made some of the binding, the piping, and the cutting of a lot of the material. And this one here, we're going to start putting things together. I know I didn't show you where I cut the gussets, or a gusset. I don't know why, but because of the cuts of my material, what I'm going to do is put two of them together. They're a lot longer than what I need, but we'll be sewing these together. So this will be the gusset. As you can see here, I've got the seam allowances and everything already made on them. You've seen us cut the front and the back pieces. We've got some of the 1/4 inch seam, the edge seam binding. Here's some of the 1/2 inch binding that I've put together, all ironed and ready to be sewn on. Here's a lot of our piping. Well, all our piping. We're also going to be using some double-sided tape. Works real well when putting this smaller stuff on here. My fingers are a little too big to, mess with this stuff here. It's just so thin. And I've got some other stuff there, double-sided tape also that we'll use probably to help hold this on, assist holding that on while we sew it. So we'll go ahead and get started. We'll get this thing put together. Alright, here we are. We've got the left side of the back split, and I've got some of the 1/4 inch edge binding. It's already folded, and as you see, this white stuff in here, that's a double-sided tape that I've already put in there. I'm not sure, I think it's like an 1/8 inch wide. Anyways, we'll start by pulling off the tape on the top here. And what we'll do is we'll work with just a few inches at a time. That way, and then I'm going to leave out about an inch up there that we'll work with later. And all I want to do is, see, that'll go like that. And we'll continue to follow that all the way down. I want to make sure we get it all the way into the center here. I feel like fumble fingers here today. I'm going to go back and rub it down a little bit. Make sure it sticks good. I picked this stuff up at Tandy Leather. My wife gets stuff from Joann's. We've picked up some from Joann's too. They have all sorts of stuff out there now. She said she's got some that actually, I guess you put it on, and after you wash it, it actually dissolves and comes out of the joint. So you could put it in and sew it down. And then if you washed it, it would just dissolve out of there. I guess the way they did this before the tape was they would just use those straight stick pins. I'm not a real stick pin man if I don't have to. Although there's times if you can't hold your material. Okay. I'm going to kind of fold it over here. Bit, make sure it sticks. Only put it on one side because it's just what it's for in my case is more I'm just holding that on there. Excuse me, got something in my throat. Just long enough that I can get this a small, you know, binding seam or stitch down through here. So, and come on here. And I'm not real good at this machine yet, still learning it. I'll just take my time and get right on down through here. Make sure that we got it all folded over there real well, because it'll stitch it right wherever it's at. We're also going to put some 1/2 inch edge binding all the way around this unit too. So it's one of the reasons I left some of this here, because I'll cut it here somewhere and I'll actually fold that back around whenever I do my edge binding, the 1/2 inch edge binding here along the bottom. So it'll tie it all in. Alrighty, there we go. We've got it all the way down through the center of this. And there's the back. Alright, here's our gusset. As I told you earlier in the video, just because of how my material was, I decided to use this color, and I've got 2 pieces here. They're actually a little bit longer than what I need. But anyways, I'm going to do a stitch down through here. I've got my pins already put in place to assist with holding things here. And let's get started here. We'll put these two together, and once we get these guys together, we're going to flip it over. I'll use some more of that double-sided tape in this case here. And then I'm going to put 2 like top stitches. Do a little back tack on both sides over here. Take our pins, stick pins out of here. Yeah, and I've used black. I've had the machine set up with black because I like the way you can see the stitch on the brown, some of the brown stuff for the canvas I've got over there. Now, what I'm gonna do, I think, I've never did this before, so bear with me. I'll go right down through here. Now, this is the stuff my wife will use. I don't know if I like it, if it sticks as well. It's a double-sided tape. Supposedly this one, he said, oh, if you wash it, it'll wash out. Well, we'll see. Okay, as you can see, I've got that down through there like that. And then on the other side, we're going to do one right here. Get it right there. I use those marking pins on everything. I'm not very good at doing a good straight line unless I have something to go by. We'll push that down again, make sure it's sticking real well. And let's see if this will fold over kind of. Alright. Take this. Well, I hope this stuff works. It looks like it's all pulling up. Oh, boy. Well, this might not be working out quite how I wanted it to. Let's try this other side. Huh. That's a lot harder than I thought. Mine doesn't work that bad. Okay, now we're going to take this half over. Fold it down. It needs just to hold it down for a little while. Take this and rub it, kind of help crease it, and that tape to stick. Alright, let's flip it over and do the other side. Not working the way I wanted this one to. There. Boy, that's hard to take off. I don't know if I'd recommend this one. Let's expose all that tape. Uh-oh. What we got going on over here? Well, we're going to cut it short. Okay. Here again, we're going to fold this one over as tight as we can. Fold it over. A little more than I thought it would be, but I'll get this out of here a little bit. Okay, now for our material. Here again, I've got some lines already started. I don't know if you guys can see that. Do our little back tacks out where our other seams are going to be. Well, my fabric laid down here. It was all unrolled. It didn't work very well because it's so long. Anyways. We're going to do a double. Alright, we'll go ahead and do this other side, and what I've got here is I've got the front, I've got the gusset, and I've got the piping here. I've went ahead and found center, and I'm going to start from the center, come across the top and go down, and then I'll do the opposite side. But I've got the piping here sandwiched in between the good side of the gusset and the good side of the front cover. I've got it all pinned together to give me a hand with holding it together. On the machine now, I have a again, I have a piping foot. It's a 3/16 of an inch diameter piping foot. It's actually got a little area up underneath this foot here that will ride, and you'll kind of see. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the piping, the part of the cord is right here, and we'll line that up right like so. And what will happen is the needle will actually put a seam over here. We'll put a seam right here, and then the piping foot will actually follow this side of this foot, the sewing foot. We're going to start off about right here. We'll go ahead and make sure I got it on. Did turn it off. Alright. Get a little back tack there. And I'll remove this needle. And we'll basically just continue doing that same thing. All the way around. Now, when we get ready to come up to this corner, I'll show you. start doing. That's where the real work starts. I'll just keep this rolled up a little bit over here so we won't have material everywhere. As you can see, we're coming up onto the corner here. I've got a little chalk line here where the seam allowance is. You'll see the cording piping in here, and then this is part of the gusset. So we'll go ahead and remove this pin. Now when we get over here into this corner, just before it, what we want to do, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, if I can get my scissors in here, I may have gone up a little bit too far. We're going to cut, not all the way down, but about 2/3 of this. We're going to cut some little V's in here. And this is going to assist with making this turn. And we'll probably go right on down here somewhere. So we'll hold this together. It's a little difficult for me there. Now, we'll start to turn some of this material, holding a lot of it together here. Now we got to start bending. This has always been my toughest part of this kind of stuff. You want to make sure that you leave your needle down, in the down position when you're moving this stuff around, because when you reposition it like that and you don't have your needle down, you will have a problem. What will happen is the material will move on you. You won't get started where you need to be. I need to have another snip in here. A little deeper. Gotta make sure we just keep this lined up. Because actually I thought I left this as a pretty big turn or radius. You could always put a bigger radius in this and it wouldn't be quite as tough. Broke my string or thread. I had to re-thread it, so I just paused for a second. I've started into this turn and I'm still working on the turn here. I'm pretty much out of the turn. The turns can be a real booger. You do need to snip the ends to give your fabric a little bit of room to move. And you just got to keep working it. And once get it going here. Move that thing. Still learning to use this girder. I don't use that piping foot very much, so we'll get her. We're coming up to the end down here. Looks a lot easier than what it is, I'll tell you that. Because you're basically sewing around the corner and then you're creating a box. And I just like to make sure I got it going right. We spend some time trying to get it all lined up. The end result is really nice though. Alright, we're coming up to the end here. Do a little back tack. Yes, and I'm sure you want to be able to see what's on the inside. We'll turn this around, show you a real quick view what it'll look like from the inside. Once you get it all pulled out here, there's your piping. Got your copper looking color, your light tan, and your darker brown piping. Well, we'll continue to do this, and I'll be right back with more of it. Alright, now we're all finished sewing everything together as far as the sides, or the gusset, the top, basically. This is the back side, you'll see. It's got an individual, you know, two different pieces back here. Here's the front. Yeah. And here's our gusset. Now, I will admit that I ended up, before I got the back all put on there, I'd realized that I had made an error and I had made this too wide. I don't know what came over me, but anyways, I did narrow this compared to the piece that I had earlier. I've just got this back here pinned together to show you. Show you the inside. That was the outside, of course, the good side. One step that I didn't show you that I did do, and it's a good idea to do, is to serge if you have the capability of it. Mine's not real good, needs a little bit of adjustment. But I serged all the edges where we sewed these together, just to prevent these. So if I want to throw this in a washer, I could throw it in the washer, it wouldn't unravel. And you see I still got some clean in some of the trimmings. There's the top. You'll see where I put my gusset together. This is the center seam, but I will also tell you that what I did is I also cut another piece of this gusset material, and I'd also sewed it here and here, and then I serged it all together, creating a little pocket here all the way across the top. And one of the reasons for that is I want to put a stiffener up across the top. So if I was to want to wash my cover, I could pull this out of the pocket. I mean, it just fits in here. It fits really tight, real snug. And then when you turn it right side out, this will give it some support up across the top and keep it in a kind of like a box so that it hangs correctly. But yes, this stuff here I picked up. You can get this in a roll from I'm not quite sure if like Joann's or Michael's or something that would have this, but somebody that would have material and things of that sort. This, you can also get this at Tandy Leather. I don't really even know what the brand of this stuff is. It's kind of blurry to me, but it says 480 on it. But it's kind of like just a hard pressed cardboard. It's got a little rigidity to it. You can sew through this, providing your sewing machine is, you know, can do heavy duty stuff. You can sew through this. I chose to, like I said, make this pocket so that I could slide my stiffener in there and it'll keep my top out. And then if I ever wanted to sew it or wash it. And I'm sure the other thing that I'll probably do some Scotch Guard on it, just to keep some of the stains off of it. Still got to work some of this piping out. Here's kind of the end view. Alright. Well, this is going to be the conclusion of part 3. On part 4, I'm going to finish putting my edge binding, seam binding, the 1/2 inch stuff that'll go all the way around to clean this up and to seal this stuff up. The other thing that I will be doing is on the front here, I'm going to put a, I think I'm going to do some hair on cowhide, kind of similar to what I've got back here and over here. I'm going to cut me a piece out and put it on here, and then I'm going to create a leather like name tag for the name of the machine, which is the Cobra Class 4. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down, comment. Till the next time.